Welcome, everybody, to the Rope Break. I am your host, Jeff. I am alongside with my co-host, Eric.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
This show is going to be a real quick one. We thought, actually, this is more on Eric. I wanted to let my emotions kind of sit for a little while before we did this podcast.
Screw that. Let your emotions come out.
I know. That's kind of what it's all about, to just tell everyone how we truly feel right now.
Yeah,
So
it's better to get your first impression and first remarks right off the bat.
Yeah, so this is going to be just about the Royal Rumble, nothing else, just the Rumble. I'd say at first, let's just rate it. What we think from 1 to 5. I would give this Rumble as a whole 3.5 out of 5.
We're doing it out of 5. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it out of 5.
Okay, well in that case, I'd probably give it about the same then. Yeah. I was gonna go, if we were going off of 10, I was gonna go 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of that has to do with just one single match.
Yes.
So
we'll
get into that.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. What we're gonna do first, so we're just gonna go from the bottom to the top, starting with the pre-show, which to me it was a short match, but it was a good match. I mean, both the Rhodes and the New Age Outlaws had an awesome match, because I knew they would. There was no reason why they weren't going to. The New Age Outlaws proved that they still can be one of the greatest tag teams in the industry.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. Like I think it was JBL joking. I mean, Billy Gunn hasn't even aged, and I really don't think he has aged since I saw him in like '98. On D-Generation X. So,
no.
But it was a very solid match. I got kind of pissed off because there was a commercial right during the middle of the match. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Yeah, I was
even though I wanted some Totino's pizza rolls at that time.
Yeah. WWE, hook up the Rope Break with some Totino's pizza rolls. Give us a shout out or something.
I'm just waiting for a Pit Stop Donuts commercial to come up next.
Oh, that would be awesome. Good old Prime Wrestling. But yeah,
it was a very solid match.
I would agree.
I'm glad the Outlaws won the titles. They definitely deserved it. They've come back and worked pretty hard. Though I do think there's some other teams that I think deserve it as well, like the Usos. I think the Real Americans have done really good over the last couple of months. So hopefully they're just a little bit of a transitional champ to maybe put over the Usos or somebody like that.
I think that's exactly what they will be. They did have an awesome match, and this tag division leaps and bounds better than what it was months and months ago. I know we always talk about it, but this tag division a while ago was really, really in the crapper. But now with all these teams in the mix, there's really some really good matches that can come of this. I hope the New Age Outlaws are here kind of just to be transitional champions, even though I love them. I love seeing them on my TV set, but there is a lot of good young talent for tag teams that I think they can really move forward in their career, just giving them the rub.
Definitely, I agree. And to move this along a little bit, we're going to go to what was the match of the night, match of the year so far, match of the year candidate. Remember this one in December when it comes to saying which is the best match of the year, because this definitely was, and that was Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt.
It was amazing. Like, I was marking out on both sides. I'm a huge fan of both these guys, and they really just did an amazing job. They went. I remember I was talking in the first episode that I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to go hard because of Daniel Bryan's head injury with the concussion, and they went hard. They definitely went hard.
They went above and beyond what I thought they were going to be able to do. They took no care of Daniel Bryan's head injury at all. They just said, here, we're going to slam your head a couple times, dude.
That's what he did.
See how you can handle
it. The thing is with someone like Bray Wyatt, and Daniel Bryan does the same kind of thing too, is there's certain guys that you watch and you, in your mind, you can see that they're actually telling you a story in the ring. There's not many people that can really do that at a high level anymore. But both of them, like, the story was out there. Like, it was an outstanding match. That's a match, like, I could just keep watching that match over and over again tonight.
No doubt. I mean, it was a very well told story. The feud came to an end perfectly. Whether you wanted Daniel Bryan to win or Bray Wyatt to win, I predicted that Bray Wyatt would win, and he did. He did it on his own, which I think is huge for him. I mean, they sent Harper and Rowan to the back early on in this match. Bray Wyatt won this match on his own, and he proved that he is the next big superstar in the WWE.
And that makes me so happy. I have loved him and followed him for a while now, and I really wanted him to come on strong when he came in as Husky Harris, and then he just kept having injury after injury, and then in FCW and NXT. And then they did this whole gimmick in NXT. I remember telling you I didn't know if it was going to get over with the WWE fans at the main level, but it definitely has. He has done an amazing job. His promo skills are top-notch in my book. There's not much more I can say about how awesome he is, and the way that they let him win this on his own really showed how much trust they have in him, and they really made his character on the next level.
Yeah, and I mean, both guys really didn't come out of this looking weak. Obviously, Bray Wyatt is coming out of this very, very strong. But Daniel Bryan's still coming out very strong too. He put on a hell of a match. I mean, he's facing a guy that's probably 100 pounds, 120 pounds heavier than him. I mean, it was just a brutal, brutal match with how many bumps to the head that Daniel Bryan took, especially coming off of the concussion and all of that. I mean, the Sister Abigail on the outside at the end of the match was just brutal.
It was, and it was key that they let Bray Wyatt win by doing things through Daniel Bryan's head with the concussions and everyone being aware of that. I thought it was very well booked, extremely well booked.
Yeah. And that clothesline that Bray Wyatt had,
yes.
I mean, it put JBL's clotheslines to shame.
Oh yeah.
I mean he did literally a 360 in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the best clotheslines I've ever seen.
So overall, an amazing, amazing match. One of the best ones
10 out of 10, 5
yes.
out of 5, whatever you want to call it. That is definitely on the Match of the Year candidate list.
And then we go from the best to the worst. We go.
I wouldn't call it the worst.
You're not going to call it the worst? I hated
the one after it.
I hated Big Show and Brock Lesnar match because I was such a fan of the build up to this. I thought they did such an amazing job with the build up to this that it to me it felt like this could have been a WrestleMania build up. The way that they did it, but this match was nothing to me.
Yeah, well, me and you had talked about it during the show while watching that they really dropped the ball on this by not making it a no DQ match or a street fight, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I get it with Brock coming out and just beating Big Show with a chair. He used like 5 different chairs throughout the whole match.
Yeah.
But it was just, it just wasn't booked very well, I don't think. And obviously it was a short match. They had to cut some time. Honestly, the pay-per-view ended at 10:45 Eastern. They could have gave that match easily another 15 minutes, at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And they would have been fine. And we would have had a better match, I think. And we could have had a more brutal match. But, they decided to book it this way. They want Brock Lesnar to look like just a giant force.
Yeah.
And, going into WrestleMania, whoever he's going to face, whether it's going to be The Undertaker or if he somehow gets in the world title picture, whoever Brock Lesnar is going to face, he's going to look super strong, as he should. Big Show took a hell of a beating, but, in this point in Big Show's career, he's really just maybe a guy to get people over. I don't see him as ever being a world champion ever again.
No, he is that. He's that stepping stone guy now. He's basically, in a sense, and it's ironic to even compare this, but he is Andre the Giant, kind of like when Andre was facing Hogan at the big WrestleMania Because before in his career, Andre the Giant was a huge force, but then at the end, he kind of just was that guy to just get people over. And Big Show is that guy. I agree. This match was incredibly short. This match was brutal for Brock Lesnar the way that it needed to be, and I was glad to see that. But I felt there was maybe a bigger and better story that could have been told within this match to help them, and it also is it's key to the fact that that Big Show is what was I going to say now? I completely forgot. Lost my train of thought.
Well, I mean, to trump you a little bit, but Big Show is he's not going to be a main event player anymore, not in this point in his career. But he could be, someone solid in the tag team division. He's won multiple tag team titles with different people, with Chris Jericho, with The Miz. I'm sure Kane, I know he's won one with. I'm sure I'm missing some others that he's won tag titles with. So maybe Big Show could be, a key person in the tag team division because he can still be a force and help people get over in their careers. I think even like they've been doing lately with Big Show, have him and Rey Mysterio as a tag team. And I wouldn't even mind seeing those guys as tag team champions.
No, and to go on to what you said earlier about the time, that's the one thing with the Royal Rumble that always happens. There's always a match that gets cut, and you don't know exactly how long the Rumble is precisely going to run, even though they have a booking idea. There's always one match that gets cut, and this was the match that it had to have gotten cut at least a little bit. There's no way that they exactly expected this match to go this way because it didn't come off good at all.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. It happens like that sometimes, and more so in the past 5 to 10 years, I guess you could say it happens more and more often. So it's unfortunate that this match got cut to as short as it did, but
yeah,
overall they did what they wanted to do with giving Brock Lesnar getting over as the Beast right now and going into Mania here in a little bit. That was the main point, and that was the key point.
Yeah. And on your time point, I mean, there was rumors of maybe 1 or 2 other matches being added to the card, and
like
none
the
of that
match.
happened. Yeah, so none of that even happened. So one of the matches did get cut. It was this one. It was a little unfortunate. We both really don't agree with how it was booked and how it was played out, especially after such a decent build-up for it, so it's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
But on to the WWE World Heavyweight title match.
And it was a doozy.
Which was John Cena versus the champion Randy Orton.
This match basically went exactly how you expected, didn't it?
I think the star of the match was really the crowd.
It really was. The chance, and I was tweeting during the whole pay-per-view. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at The Rope Break because we will be doing tweets throughout shows, especially for pay-per-views. And there was one tweet that I made expressing every single chant that the fans did, and there were some really good ones. There's chants for Y2J, we want refunds. Daniel Bryan chants were huge again.
Instead of the "This is awesome" chant, we had the new one, "This is awful."
Yes. Yes.
Which was my personal favorite. That was awesome. But I think we both expected a lot more from this match. These guys really have worked together so many times in the past. You would think that by this time in their careers they would be able to mesh and have a decent match, but they just really looked like they didn't mesh at all. Like Jeff was telling me while we were watching the pay-per-view, they really don't mesh at all. And it's a little unfortunate because they're both, key players in the WWE. They should be able to put on better matches than what they did tonight, because honestly tonight it was like I was saying, same old shit. Yep. Same old shit all night. It's just Cena does the same moves, Orton does the same moves. I was glad to see towards the end, like the last 5 minutes, they picked it up a little bit better, but at that point the crowd was really on them about everything.
And you could tell that was the go home moment.
Yeah, they were like, all right, we got to do something now because, I mean, they were getting booed out of the building, getting this is awful chants. They're chanting for the announcers, and this is your WWE World Heavyweight title, your biggest title in your company, and the fans don't give a shit.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is throughout the whole card, that's the one match where the fans were visibly upset about, outside of Rey Mysterio coming in to the Royal Rumble. We'll get to that.
Yeah, but it wasn't
his fault whatsoever. But the fans hated it. It was visible that John Cena and Randy Orton both were rattled by it. They didn't like it. I mean, Randy Orton at a time is yelling at the crowd and everything. He's trying to play it off as best as he can. It's got to do something to their psyche. But the fact is, these two are the two poster childs of the company, in all honesty, right now. I mean, you can say CM Punk is thrown in there as well, but these two have traditionally been the two poster children of the company, and they have no chemistry. This should be a kind of feud that you could down the road compare to like a Stone Cold Rock or a Triple H Rock, or something like that, where it's like over their career they always faced each other, but they have no chemistry, and it comes off on TV extremely bad, and it really was a big letdown for a WWE title match. They were given enough time. They definitely were, and that was maybe a mistake of giving them as much time as they had, because honestly, my favorite moment is when Bray Wyatt comes down.
Yeah, and that's how the end of the match comes down. After a bunch of stealing of finishers, Orton did the attitude adjustment, and he did the STF, and John Cena even hit the RKO on Randy Orton. So after all of that exchange happened, the lights go out, the Bray Wyatt little vignette plays, and the Wyatt family is surrounded the ringside. Orton's down in the middle of the ring, and Cena's standing there. And Cena goes and takes out all three of the Wyatt members, or he takes out Bray Wyatt, I'm sorry, and takes out all three of the other guys, and it distracted Cena to allow Orton for the roll-up and the win.
Yeah, and honestly, in the grand scheme of things, the one person that comes out of this whole pay-per-view as the big winner in my book is Bray Wyatt. Has a hell of a match with Daniel Bryan, that he comes out and he's able to take his character to the next. In that match, it's almost like he took his character to a top level. And then he comes down and takes his character to an even bigger level because he's able to attack and really show his strength against John Cena in an awesome moment, I thought. Yeah,
and the rumors have come out that says Bray and John Cena are going to face at WrestleMania. I mean, this perfectly sets that up, and I think the match with Daniel Bryan earlier really gave WWE the go-ahead to say, all right, Bray, you can go up against our biggest superstar, John Cena, on the biggest stage of the year. We think you're ready. And I think he's ready after tonight, especially.
I do too. I'm excited.
So, yeah, and I mean, Cena's not the greatest wrestler ever. No, everybody knows that, but he's still solid. He's still very solid. Yes. And I think a couple months of build-up here. I mean, we almost got 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is, until WrestleMania. To give these guys enough proper build-up for a feud is going to be pretty interesting to see what they do and come up with. I'm very excited to see this feud develop for WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's really going to be good versus evil in a really cool kind of way. I'm excited for it. I make no bones about it. I'm a big Bray Wyatt fan, so I'm excited to see what actually transpires in the next couple of months. But yeah. I think we're going to jump right into the Royal Rumble because, like we said, we wanted to make this kind of short, and we like to ramble on. So let's get into the Royal Rumble. It was a good match. There was some really key moments in the Royal Rumble. We talked about it earlier about some moments that we had hoped to see, like what would happen with the Shield in the Royal Rumble, what would happen with the Rhodes brothers, and we really got a couple really fun moments to see in the Royal Rumble. Kofi Kingston, again, he always will do something that you're like, he can't do that. He can't really do that, but he does. And he had two cool moments. I mean, the big one obviously is running on the barricade and jumping over, which I thought that's a little too far. He's not going to be able to do it, but he did it.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping some little kid would push him down.
Yeah.
But
I thought there was. I thought someone was going to try to trip him up.
Because there wasn't really any security guards over there. I'm
No.
like, man, what if some little kid just, like, accidentally pushed him off or something?
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. But, yeah, that was a really cool moment. Some cool surprise entrants showed up as well. There's always a couple surprises. NXT superstar Alexander Rusev, he showed up for his debut in the WWE. Yeah, he looked legit. I mean, I like his style. He's got the, he doesn't wear any boots. I'm trying to figure out who the WCW guy was that did that. Maybe it was Jerry Flynn. I don't know. You could help me with that. You were better with WCW. Prince Iake. That's okay. I knew it was somebody from WCW. So he's got the no boots. I mean, he's a really big guy. He's Vince McMahon's wet dream.
Yeah.
He is just a big guy, that's just big muscle guy. There's been a lot of talk about him that I've read that he's going to be, one of this year's NXT stars to come up and really shine on the roster. So we got to see him a little bit. Big Daddy Cool, Kevin Nash, came out. That was really cool to see. I know he had gray hair not too long ago. They made him dye his hair.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's always fun to see Nash get back in there, though, even if it is just for a couple minutes.
Yep. And the other big surprise was the return of Sheamus. Sheamus came back. He was injured there for a couple months there, but he made his triumphant return tonight, and he did pretty well. Yeah,
he did. It was cool to see him come back, especially at the Rumble. It's always fun to see people return at the Rumble. I was surprised that we didn't see Rob Van Dam in the Rumble. I was also surprised about a couple things in the Rumble, one being the elimination of Big E as early as it was. I mean, it was probably he was probably like in the last, what would you say, 7 or 8?
Yeah, he was like 20. He was like in the final 25 or something like that.
Yeah, I just would have I wasn't expecting for him to win, but I thought with the amount of time and effort that they're putting into his push, I figured they wouldn't have gotten him eliminated the way that they did. To me, that was a letdown.
I mean, because Antonio Cesaro was still in there. I mean, I'm no disrespect to Cesaro, but Big E is your Intercontinental Champion. He's one of your bigger stars. And I don't know if it was because they had such huge plans for Roman Reigns that they only wanted one guy to shine in this Rumble, or what. But I thought Big E should have at least lasted a little bit longer. I mean, I don't even really remember him eliminating anybody, maybe one guy off the top of my head.
Yeah, he really didn't have that strong of an outing at the Rumble, where I thought it would have been key for him to have a good showing. Just to keep his push rolling, obviously if he can't win it, you want to keep his face fresh in everyone's minds, especially with the way that he's been closing shows in the last 2 months. He's definitely been one of the guys that's really been out there to show that he's one of the guys that's next in line for a push, for a bigger push than what he's already getting. I thought. Go ahead.
All right. One of the other disappointments that I had was Alberto Del Rio. He got eliminated pretty quickly too. I mean, for as much build-up as he's had with Batista, I figured at least Del Rio would be in the final 5, and he didn't even last that long. So
yeah, I thought there was missed opportunities. We knew what was going to happen with CM Punk, with Kane coming out at the end, which he also came out earlier in the night.
Yeah, that was another surprise we forgot about. Well, he was eliminated so quickly it was hard to remember.
Yeah, it really was. I really did like how they did things with the Shield and the Rhodes brothers. It's kind of exactly how we expected it to go. Maybe not exactly. I was kind of thinking that the setup with the whole Shield was going to be later in the Rumble, but it was kind of earlier than I expected.
Well, no, it was right towards the end because once all those guys got eliminated, we were pretty much down to the final 4. So, I mean, Seth Rollins and CM Punk came out 1-2, and they lasted pretty much the entire Rumble.
Oh, I forgot about that.
At least to the final 8 or so. Both of those guys lasted that long.
I forgot that Seth Rollins came out at number 2.
Yeah, and the final 4 ended up being CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Batista, and Sheamus. Like we said, Kane came out earlier in the match, and CM Punk had eliminated him. So once the Final Four got into each corner, like we usually see at every Royal Rumble, Kane came back out through the crowd, and he went up on the apron and pulled Punk out and eliminated Punk, and then proceeded to choke slam him through the Spanish announce table on the side. So that's going to set up a little something with the Authority and CM Punk. I would pretty much expect a match between Kane and Punk here at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think it's going to probably be some kind of gimmicky match as well. I think the Elimination Chamber is going to be a good way to set up some things. I'm really interested to see now what goes forward with the Rhodes brothers, especially now because they don't have the tag titles. Are they going to get maybe a rematch at Elimination Chamber, and then maybe that will be the split that we're looking for going into WrestleMania? And it'll be real interesting to see now with all this strain that's been on the Shield in the last month, and then this happening at the Royal Rumble. What's going to go from here? What's the split going to be like that? Is Reigns finally going to be on his own now? Like I know I'm excited to see him just go solo. I think he's ready. I think it's going to be maybe an awkward transition and at first, but I think he's going. But a lot of people have that. Like the same thing happened with Batista. There was a little bit of an awkward transition when Batista went out on his own and kind of stepped up his game to become a main eventer. And I think it's going to be very similar with Roman Reigns, but I'm definitely excited for that.
And Reigns was the star of the Royal Rumble tonight. He set the record for most eliminations in a Royal Rumble. He eliminated 12 men tonight, which was very awesome for him. A huge showing. Reigns became a star tonight. Just to kind of what happened, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins tried to throw Reigns out, and Reigns kind of stopped that. And after about a couple minutes later, Rollins and Ambrose tried to throw Goldust over, I believe it was, and Reigns came over and took out all three of them. And the Shield was kind of looking mad up at Reigns. Reigns was yelling at him, and Reigns continued on to be a huge force in the Rumble. So we were left with Reigns, Sheamus, and Batista left in the ring. The crowd was pretty pissed off because number 30 wasn't Daniel Bryan. It happened to be Rey Mysterio, which me and Jeff knew who it was because we figured out in our heads who was the last guy. We knew Rey Mysterio was confirmed for the Rumble. So
he even had a video. In the beginning.
Yeah. So unless like Daniel Bryan just went psycho and attacked him backstage before he came out, Daniel Bryan wasn't going to be in the Rumble. So the fans were pretty pissed off. They were chanting no and yes and Daniel Bryan chants throughout the whole end of the Rumble. Rey Mysterio took the brunt of that because he was getting booed and the fans cheered when he got eliminated. But that's not Rey Mysterio's fault. That's just booking's fault.
Yeah, and actually that's what Shane Helms even tweeted earlier, as soon as that happened, he was saying that don't blame Ray. He's not the one that booked it, and I do feel bad for Ray because Ray got basically booed from the beginning to the end of being in the Rumble. And this might have been his very last Rumble. We have no idea. We don't know how much longer he's going to be, and I understand the passion with the fans wanting Daniel Bryan. He's red hot right now, and I know me personally, I wanted somehow it to be Daniel Bryan too. I mean, in my mind, I really wanted him to be the winner of this Rumble, but it's not his fault. But then we get to the end, and we have the final two end up being Roman Reigns and Batista.
After Sheamus got eliminated, they all traded spears and bro kicks and finishers and all that. So it came down to Reigns and Batista. The fans wanted Roman Reigns. And they went back and forth for a minute. The exact ending slips my mind at the moment. But Batista ends up eliminating Roman Reigns. The crowd just starts booing because Daniel Bryan didn't win again and Roman Reigns didn't win. So my prediction was right on that one. Actually, my prediction for the entire night was right.
Yeah, if we were doing predictions, you nailed it pretty much.
Yeah, and which is kind of a little bit of a letdown, to be honest with you. I was kind of hoping we'd have some better surprises, but so Batista wins the Royal Rumble, and he's going to go on to WrestleMania 30 to face the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. If it's going to be Randy Orton, if it's going to be somebody else, we'll see as the time to the Rumble comes down. But I know you weren't happy with it, but I'm glad Batista won. I know some people don't agree with it because he just came back and now he's just given this WrestleMania main event spot, which I can see. I mean, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, these guys put in the work. They're there 365, 24/7. They're there, they're putting in the work, and some guy just walks in and takes their spot. I see that, but Batista, he came back for a reason. I'm sure him and Triple H worked out a deal for this, and this was a part of the deal. So I understand that as well. It's a business. That's what's best for business, as they would say.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of nailed it exactly of my feeling on the whole thing. But you're right. It is best, I mean, if you want to say that, best for business. It would be naive to think that Batista wasn't going to come in here and have a top billing spot in the company coming right back. I mean, I don't agree with this booking of him winning the Rumble, but I understand that when you're someone like Batista or Chris Jericho or even The Rock, you pay your dues in the business, and once you are at that point where you can stray away from the business and come back, you are given some opportunities that not everyone is able to be given. But when you've done so much for the business, it's kind of just like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Exactly. So with that, we have Batista, and I'm guessing is going to be Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania. So before we close the show here, I just want to get your thoughts on that, but I'll start with mine. I think it's going to be a decent match. I know it's not going to be the greatest match of WrestleMania history. I mean, that's just way out in left field to even expect that. But I think it should be a solid match. I love the build-up. These guys were both Evolution members, that started out, that Triple H and Ric Flair built up to what they have become, what we know Randy Orton and Batista as. And for those two Evolution members to collide at WrestleMania 30 in the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight title, I think it would be awesome. And I hope WWE does not drop the ball on this, and I hope they involve Ric Flair and Triple H in this storyline. And I wouldn't even mind seeing Ric Flair be the special guest referee for this match.
I think the story between this match is amazing. I think it's the story for a WrestleMania story is there. Like you said, with Evolution, these two being brought up together and being the jewels of the group for Evolution, if you will, the story is definitely there. Randy Orton brings it every single WrestleMania. He's the kind of guy that wants to go out there and he wants to perform better than anyone on that night. What I saw from Batista tonight is dude's got to work on his game. I know this is his first match back, and I know he's conditioned and everything, but he does need, for him to be put into this position at WrestleMania, I need to see something really strong from Batista, because tonight he looked awkward. He looked really awkward in that match from what I saw. But I am excited about this match, if it is the match. If it's not the match, then Batista winning the Royal Rumble means absolutely nothing. In my mind, it has to be Randy Orton versus Batista. It just wouldn't make sense any other way. But I am excited for this match. I'm excited for the build. I didn't even think about bringing in Triple H. Ric Flair would be a great addition. Bringing in everyone from Evolution would be great. Like I said, the story is definitely there.
Yeah, well, we expect Triple H to have something with CM Punk for WrestleMania, so Triple H might not be involved, but I think to have Ric Flair involved, who is a friend of both men, he just really hasn't had a problem with either man, in WWE storyline-wise, so I could see Ric Flair kind of being the guy in the middle here. And, maybe in the end, Flair turns his back on one of them at WrestleMania. I could see that definitely happening. So
yeah, I think it's a good start to a card for WrestleMania, and especially of everything that we have been hearing about what's going to happen at WrestleMania card-wise, and then seeing tonight some of those things kind of start to bloom. I think it's going to be a good show. Closing out the show today, the Royal Rumble. It was a pretty good show, not the best show. We didn't get the surprises we wanted to see, but I think the Rumble itself delivered. And if you have one match even on the card outside of the Rumble, that's a killer match. You can't complain with that. And Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt definitely tore the house down.
Yeah, if you didn't get to see the match, if you didn't order the pay-per-view or watch a legal stream of it, it's definitely a match that you want to see anytime you can. If you want to download a torrent of it or whatever, however you can see it, I definitely recommend seeing it because it was definitely worth it.
Yeah. We're going to close the show today. Please make sure you visit us on YouTube. All of our podcasts are getting uploaded on YouTube right now, so just search for The Rope Break. It'll pop right up for you. Also, we will be tweeting a whole lot more often at The Rope Break on Twitter, and we're going to be trying to tweet our kind of opinions throughout at least every pay-per-view. Definitely going to be trying to against every Raw, SmackDown, and Impact possibly.
Yeah.
We'll see. Again, we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, Jeff will have the reins tomorrow for Monday Night Raw because I will actually be at Monday Night Raw. So I'm actually looking forward to that tomorrow. I'm hoping they have some more surprises tomorrow. If Hogan shows up or Sting or somebody, that would be pretty cool for tomorrow night for me to be there live. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Batista's reaction that the fans give him since he was booed at the end, but that was really just because of Daniel Bryan not being the winner.
Yep. All right, well, until next time, everyone, this is The Rope Break. I am Jeff Wolf.
I am Eric Vanek, and we will see you guys later. Make sure you hit up YouTube and Twitter and check out these podcasts and leave your comments and suggestions.
And subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe too.
Hit that follow
make sure
button.
Make sure you do that. Maybe we'll take some questions next time if we get some questions, and we can answer that. Look for another podcast probably later in the week, maybe Friday or Saturday, probably after SmackDown. We can talk about Impact, SmackDown, and Raw.
That'll be a loaded show.
All right. See you guys later.